30 seconds and counting. T-
Is Alperen Şengün a player worth building your team around? Is he a franchise building block? Is he a player untouchable off the trade table? And before I begin answering this question, I want y'all to hit the subscribe button down below and turn on post notifications. Hey guys, it's Anish, and today we're going to be talking about Alperen Şengün's future, his play throughout the season, and how the draft is going to affect his future and role. So let's just preface this by saying there's so many variables to keep in mind, and I think the biggest thing we need to consider is how young Şengün is. You know, he's 19 years old, so much room to improve, and he's ahead of his development. And he didn't get a lot of minutes for the first half of the season, especially with the Rockets acquiring Daniel Theis in free agency. He was the third big on the roster. And when you're trying to compete with Christian Wood, who obviously has to start, and Daniel Theis, who you gave a pretty sizable bag to, it's hard to say that Şengün was going to get minutes. So that was probably part of the reason why he didn't show as much as we thought he could, especially at the beginning of the season. But after we traded away Theis, that's when things started to open up for Şengün. And even then, the beginning half of the season when Jalen Green was struggling, Şengün shined in those minutes. He flashed a lot. And a lot of people were saying, oh, Şengün is the best Rockets rookie so far. And there's a reason for that. So let's go over the things that Şengün has been very stellar at. Şengün, when you think of this guy, he was a Turkish MVP at age 17. That's really, really hard to do, especially EuroLeagues and things like that. And just his play throughout the season, just some things that he's been great at. He has a high motor. I think when you look at Şengün, he's someone who never gives up on the play. When he's always relentless, he's fighting for rebounds despite being outnumbered. And he has a very high IQ, very super high. Like, he's already a top playmaker in the league, I feel. He creates offense out of nowhere, and there's so many passes that he can do. He can do over the shoulder, behind the back, a bounce pass to a cutting man. He just has eyes in the back of his head. He creates open looks, and because what he does is so unpredictable, so unorthodox, he's able to generate some offense that way. And a lot of people thought Şengün was going to be pretty bad defensively, but I'd argue this season he's actually kind of the opposite. He was ranked pretty highly on the defensive side, actually. Let me pull up some stats. So according to the Basketball Index, among the top centers on-ball defense, Şengün was rated 5th, and among top centers in the passing lane defense, he is ranked 3rd among over guys like Jokic and Adebayo. And for the on-ball defense metric, he was 5th, right under Adebayo, Horford, Robert Williams. So Şengün, he's actually been pretty good defensively. Some areas of improvement. I don't want to say weaknesses or liabilities because, like I said, he is so young. His biggest liability, I think, is just this inconsistent three-point shot right now. However, like, opposing bigs still respect his shot, allowing Şengün to either fake, pump, and drive to the basket, and either do his signature post-up game with his great offensive footwork, finesse, either pivot foot, just spam the pivot foot until he gets an open look and just hook the ball away from the opposing center with the other hand. But most of his scoring comes from within the paint, and that's fine. It seems like Şengün was kind of born in the wrong era with how much he likes to post up and things like that. But I think what separates Şengün from being prehistoric in a way is that his passing is just so incredible, and he changes the game in many ways. So I think Şengün's great at that. And then turnovers, he doesn't have the tightest dribble, so he could be susceptible to just getting picked by opposing guard or just losing the ball simply. But when it comes to like passing turnovers, I think that's not as common with him. And then he does have some issues with slow feet, lateral quickness. But there's some clips, and I can show you on the screen, where he's shown a good job guarding guys like Tatum, John Morant. So he's shown some flashes. It's not on a consistent level. And fouling, that was an issue that he dealt with, at least for the beginning of the season, quickly racking up 5 fouls and then not getting enough playing time. And so I think that was kind of like an adjustment thing, just transitioning from from like the Turkish league to the NBA, things like that. And he needs to improve on his strength, and that's just something that will come with time. Not all players that are just new to the NBA, all of them need to improve on their strength and conditioning and things like that. And conditioning was also a thing that you need to work on. But like I said, he's 19, still has a long way to go. And it's crazy to me how people are just writing off his defense, saying that why not considering trading Şengün? He has these so-called limitations, but he's not terrible. He can play passing lanes at times because he just has such a high IQ. He's also able to get vertical and contest shots sometimes, but I think the biggest thing is that he can get bullied easily. Say if a really big mobile, like a mobile big, comes running at him, charging at him, he's getting pushed back like crazy. Like his like leverage or stance is going to be an issue. So I think if he's able to use his high IQ to his advantage and kind of draw more charges, I think that would be a big help for Şengün, who does lack some of that core strength. And we can try to see how the draft would be the best to optimize Şengün, and not limit him. And so Şengün, I think he also has some sneaky athleticism. People think this dude's like slow as hell. I think he has pretty sneaky athleticism. He's able to go coast to coast at times. His balance is only going to improve, and he has pretty impressive timing on blocks. He blocked LeBron, and I think he's pretty good at that. I think Şengün, he's underrated on defense, and people are just overselling like the lack of athleticism he has. He's not like, like like a Giannis in terms of athleticism, of course, but he does have like a decent amount of athleticism to do what he needs to do or do what he wants to do. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. And so let's see, like in terms of answering the question, is Alperen Şengün a franchise player to build around? I'm gonna say yes. You're not gonna find a guy like Şengün with already so advanced in his passing and offensive capabilities, and he's only going to improve defensively with either better coaching. Coaching is also partially to blame, and just better positioning. He has like decently quick, just getting quicker hands. The sky's the limit for Şengün, I think. So in terms of building around Şengün, yes, he is someone worth considering. I would even go as far to say he could be untradeable in my eyes. Some people might disagree with that, but I think Şengün is so special, and like we've all fallen in love with him. Obviously, that's not a reason to not trade a player because the fans love him, but he's already so likable. He's a hard worker. He's a team player. And so in terms of how the draft really affects his future, the best draft that would capitalize Şengün's abilities would be hopefully getting Jabari Smith at pick number 3. Unfortunately, that's looking like something that's not going to happen. There's been reports that Jabari is looking to be drafted by the Magic, either going 1 or 2, getting drafted by OKC. But I think Jabari would be the perfect fit for the Rockets and would be the best pairing with Şengün. Jabari is well known for his interior defense, perimeter defense. He does have really good length, size, so I think he'd be a nice complement to Şengün. And or anyone on the team. Just he's not going to take the ball away a lot. He's already a really good shooter already from 3. I think he's just going to fit really nicely on this team. Like just taking Şengün away, I think even then, just not even considering Şengün, he's going to be a great fit. And so now that we do consider Şengün, he's going to be great. And I don't know if Şengün should start on the bench. I think he should be someone that's worthy of starting in the league. But yeah, I think Jabari would be the best fit. Second best fit would be getting Chet at number 3. But like I said, he's going 1 and 2 possibly. But his rim protection would be a great aid for Alperen Şengün. So it's hard to see how Paolo Banchero would fit with Şengün, because Banchero has defensive effort issues, lapses on defense. But even then, I don't think Banchero will be the in terms of fit with Şengün, he's the worst. But he's not a bad player by any means. And the hard question does come, like, am I prioritizing the development of Paolo Banchero, or am I prioritizing the development of Alperen Şengün? And when you think of what it costs to draft those guys, I mean, you're obviously going to prioritize the top 3 pick. That's like, there's no debate to that really, because you just think about investment to the player, and I don't know. I just think that if it came down to that, then obviously you would go with that. But and just in terms of fit with Şengün, I think Banchero is not the best fit, especially defensively. So that is an issue. But I think Banchero won't be bad on defense in general, like over time. I think with his size, athleticism, wingspan, he can at least be a solid help defender. But the thing is, you don't want to have just serviceable guys on defense. And Şengün can be serviceable on defense. He can be average on defense, but you don't want to have your team entirely be serviceable on defense. And that's where the issues start to come. So when you think about that, that is an issue. But when you think of pick 17, who could possibly help us, you think of Tari Eason, who's a guy well known for his defensive prowess. So I think that would be really good. Just get a defensive dude, honestly, that will just help complement Şengün, because those are where his areas of improvement are. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Let us know your thoughts on Şengün, his future, and just whether or not you guys think he's someone who's untouchable in trade talk. So let me know in the comment section below, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.